Debbie Levitt says the defendant is her niece, and Debbie feels she's headed down a destructive path. Debbie claims the defendant started drinking at age 14 and entered a drug rehab program by age 16. Debbie is suing her niece for the cost of a car and a loan. Defendant Lindsay Iserman had a very rough upbringing and didn't have anyone to turn to, and she insists Debbie was never there for her. Lindsay admits that she did jail time for drunk driving and insists she has since gotten her life on track. Lindsay's countersuing for harassment.
Start with you.
Well, Your Honor, I'm really concerned about my niece Lindsay and where her life is going. Now, you, with your past, maybe have some advice for today. Now, Lindsay grew up in a family where there was drugs and alcohol involved. Meth was one of the drugs. And we tried to reach out to Lindsay as a child, but she just always seemed to have walls around her. When she was about 13 or 14 years old, she started drinking, and then shortly after that started using drugs. And then...
You all know about that?
Yeah.
All right. Well, the first piece of advice, well, maybe if my mother, God bless her soul, were here, she'd give you the advice. Call the police on her.
I guess it never...
All right.
I guess we didn't know we had the right to do that.
Relatives and mothers and others who are listening, your child is engaged in criminal conduct and you can't get them to stop. You try and get them to stop. You beg, you plead, and everything else. That doesn't work. Call the police. Get them locked up. Worked for me. I got locked up. After I got locked up, I changed real quick. All right. And has she gone to school, finished school?
Well, she went into a drug and alcohol treatment program when she was probably about 16 years old. She came out, lived with her sister until she finished high school because there were drugs in her home and she couldn't live there. Mm-hmm. Then she went to college for a few months, but dropped out because of partying. And I actually have a police record here with she got pulled over for drugs and alcohol, and took about 7 or 8 police officers to restrain her. She made a comment, and it's in the report here, where she said, "You know, this is my second DUI. I might as well just.
Let me see.
I might as well just.
You're telling me what? She might as well what?
Just keep driving until I am drunk and see how many people I can kill."
Let me read this, ma'am. She admitted on the squad video that the marijuana pipe was hers. She stated that she should not have gotten behind the wheel and drove. She referred to herself as a drunk. She stated now that she has 2 DUIs, she was going to drive drunk with no license now, and that she would see how many people she kills. See why I said call the police? I didn't know she was talking and acting crazy like that, because they endanger other people. It isn't always about them. It's about protecting people from them. It's about protecting people from having their houses burglarized by a young thug. That's why mama should call the police. So let me allow her to answer and give me some background on herself before we get to this statement that you allegedly made. Go ahead.
I did have a very rough upbringing, and because of that, it led me to make a lot of mistakes that I can't say I'm proud of.
What was your upbringing like?
You know, it was rough. And just to note, she was not there for any of it.
I mean, was there some extenuating circumstances that caused you to go down the wrong path?
There was, very much so. I actually did not start receiving help until custody got taken from my mother. And my mother's a great person, but no, she was not able to raise me very well.
Okay.
And because of that, I had to grow up on my own. And I learned a lot of things the hard way.
Okay. How old were you when you allegedly told the police that and 7 of them had to restrain you?
I have no recollection of saying that. I was very messed up.
Okay. Very, very drunk. And how old were you?
I was 19 years old.
Okay. All right.
I don't blame anything on my upbringing. That was a decision that I chose to make.
Okay, because I thought that's what you were doing earlier when you said you had a very troubled life coming up. Because many people do, and many of them do not engage in destructive activity once they become adults. I was brought up in the toughest housing projects in Detroit. No father. Saw him probably 6 weeks out of my life as an adolescent. Mother struggled with 4 boys. But once I got my second chance, I wasn't looking for a third one. I changed. So, I'm sorry to hear about your rough upbringing, but you need to be over that now.
Right. Just for the record, my best friend died in a car accident last January because of drinking and driving. I have learned a lot. I think that's important to know.
Yep.
Now to go back to this, when I received that DWI, yes, I was very low in life. I stayed in jail and then I turned myself into an inpatient treatment program, one that was actually meant for people who kind of grew up like me, one that I could actually learn from people. After that, I decided to go into a halfway house all by my own choice, and after that, I decided to go into sober living. I stayed sober for 8 months. That was something very hard for me, and those 8 months, I learned a lot about myself. It's what needed to happen. Little to no, she had nothing to do with it. There was no support. And then I didn't really have anywhere to go, so my aunt and uncle offered to throw out a hand. They offered to let me to come live with them. They would help me get on my feet, get my license back, and maintain a job. So I moved in with them May of last year. That went well for about a month, and then it wasn't going so well.
Not this aunt and uncle.
Yes, this aunt and uncle.
He just kept referring to her as no support. You gave me no support. Engaged in criminal conduct and you can't get them to stop. You beg, you plead, and everything else. That doesn't work. Call the police. Get them locked up.
Defendant Lindsay Iserman is being sued by her aunt, who claims Lindsay started drinking at age 14 and entered drug rehab by age 16.
Let me get back to her, ma'am.
Can I say something? She was sober for 8 months and then she started drinking again. So that's not true that she has been having sober living.
How recent was that?
She started drinking December 31st, 2009. January 2010 is when her best friend was killed in an accident. I have a report here. She had been drinking with these girls. She chose not to get in the car with them, which was a blessing because her life could have been taken. She called us.
I'm sure you're a little resentful that she would talk about how you didn't support her and how she's received no support.
I wish I would have taken no support over this support.
Your Honor, the car that was pulled over for being...
You know, you must be drinking and smoking something. You sound like an alcoholic and a dope fiend. This dope fiend stuff you talking. Yeah, you sound crazy. You don't know how you sound. Go ahead. Oh, and happen to owe her money. Go ahead.
We paid $700 for her to get her license back. We let her move in with us. We gave her a car to use. We only charged her for gas. We didn't charge her any board and room because she wanted to pay off previous college debts. She announced the night before she was moving out. My husband was like, okay, we don't want her to lose her job. We will sell her the car for $1,200. This is the Blue Book value. It was valued at over $3,000. We told her the tires are worn. You're going to have to replace the tires by winter time. She agreed to pay $1,200, $100 a month till the car was paid off. She didn't pay anything. I would call her. We had set up that the last Friday of every month she would pay us $100. I'd call and say, Lindsay, a week until you owe us $100. Let us know if you can pay us or not. If that day's not going to work out. Never a phone call. So then she calls up October 18th. Oh, the car is not working right. You sold me a piece of junk and borrowed another $300.
Borrowed another $300.
To get it fixed.
Okay.
Next month, can you start paying us $100 a month? Yes, thank you so much.
How much has she paid you?
None.
Okay.
Not one penny towards the car.
Young lady, what do you want to tell me about the car and the loan?
That's untrue. I have made $400 worth of payments on the car.
That was the license.
When we did this verbal agreement, when she offered to help me pay to get my license back, that was not something that she said I had to pay back.
What wasn't something?
Paying the $680 reinstatement fee. That is something my uncle offered to pay for.
Excuse me?
None of these decisions were made between her and I. Little do you know, she didn't have the job. This is my uncle and I who were going through all of this. All of the financial things were dealt through my uncle and I. Mm-hmm. She never had a voice in it until now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she does.
Okay.
A husband and wife.
So, but you have to understand.
You listen. Whatever agreement you had with your uncle, if this is his wife, you had it with her as well. It's called joint ownership of joint property. Now, everything you get from him, you've gotten it also from her. Now, let's get to your counterclaim. $500 for harassment. How has she harassed you?
By voicemails.
Doing saying what?
I have some if you'd like to hear them.
Sure.
This is Debbie. I'm sending a picture of you. Let me play the victim role. You use people, see what you want. And it's kind of sounding like probably most nights you get high, so you can't be feeling too good about yourself. This is Debbie. And I'm going to remind you that we're the ones that helped you get your license. So I gave you everything that we possibly could. I'm flattered. I purposely call you at work, hoping I get your answering machine because I don't really care for your rudeness and your foul language. If you want to choose to go down that path, it's up to you, but it's a lot of stuff that could come up. In fact, you don't have insurance. In fact, you've had a couple accidents with the car. You still continue to drink. There's some other things too.
All right, and that's harassment. Maybe I missed something. What part did I miss about harassment?
The harassment came in and just how the situation was handled.
Oh, I thought you said the harassment was on the tape. There's no harassment here. Your claim is dismissed. Yours is granted, ma'am, and congratulations for trying to help and trying to be there for a relative. It doesn't always work out. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff.
Yes, sir. You know, she's got so much potential. She wants to be a lawyer, but no one can tell anything. She's 21 and she thinks she knows it all.